Hi, I'm David Council from Inferno Marketing and Design. Welcome along to Insider Marketing Secrets. We're going to have a look at the sort of things that the insiders in the marketing industry know and things that you should know as well. Now in a moment we're going to talk about mobile social media and how you can get to people when they're on the go. Things you should be doing. But before we do that, let me just remind you, if you know someone who could use some help with their advertising and marketing, please send them on to us. We'd love to have a chat with them. It's free, it's no obligation, it's no pressure. And of course, we'll send you a bottle of Tasmanian wine to say, thanks for thinking of us. Also, don't forget about my other podcast, David versus David. You can find it in the iTunes store. It's absolutely free. My good mate David Pritchard from the United Kingdom and I get together every week and we have a chat. It's a long form chat about things to do with advertising and marketing. You really will find it invaluable. Okay, let's get down to it and have a look at things you should know about social media for people who are on the go and using a mobile device. So here's the facts. I've written them down. These are things that you should think about. People use mobile devices when it comes to social media. Pinterest, that's something you would have heard of. 92% of all Pinterest use is done on the go from a mobile device. Twitter users, 86% of them are mobile, and Facebook, 68% of them are mobile. So it's really important that you've got your mobile strategy stitched up as well as your strategy for communicating with people who are sitting at their desktop. Now the first thing to think about is how you're going to engage with people who are local to you. After all, you've got to think of social media as being something that is targeting a specific group of people. And if geographically is one of those constraints, then you need to think of it that way. You're not broadcasting to the entire world. You're still just broadcasting to those people who are having a relationship with your business that sit within a geographic location. Most of them could be within 5, 10, 15, 20 kilometers of where your business is located. So one of the things you need to consider from that point of view is how you can call them to action when they're close by. So make sure that when you do place a call to action message using social media, that you're thinking about what your customers are doing and where they are and how they can make that interaction. Are you sending them from social media to your webpage, for instance, where you're going to either use an e-commerce connection or for that matter, just capture their information so that you can phone them and get in touch with them? After all, people are getting your marketing messages all over the place, in the car, walking down the street, sitting on their couch, while they're out and about. So you've really got to give some genuine thought to how you're reaching them that way. The number two thing to consider is making sure that on your website you've got a mobile-friendly blog. Now I love blogs. One of the reasons is because you can enter the information that you want to communicate with people using your blog. This email, for example, has come out of a blog, both from us via email to people who are on our database and also to people who are listening via podcast on iTunes. It's all pushed out via the blog. So that blog needs to be mobile friendly because after all, some people are just reading it off their phone while they're on the go. If your blog is set up, however, just to accommodate people who are looking at it from a computer point of view, then it's not going to work. Now there are things that you can do to go and test whether or not your blog is mobile friendly. All you have to do is enter the name of the page into these test pages and it will show you different versions of it and you can see whether or not your page dimension is exactly right for people who are using an iPhone, for example, to browse your blog. Number three, message fatigue. A lot of people publish the same thing on every form of social media. Now, if you're on the go and you've got a Facebook account and perhaps a Twitter account, then there's a really good chance that you're getting the same message twice. Not so good. Message fatigue is what's going to happen there. So what you've got to do is make sure that you use the different social media for their strengths. After all, something like Twitter is about immediate messaging. They get a message, see it, read it, do it now. They're more likely to have alerts set up on their phone so that when the message comes in on Twitter, they check it automatically. As opposed to someone who's using Facebook, not quite so immediate, more for someone who's sitting and browsing their way through the timeline. So important that you think about what message goes in which media. And as I always say, you start with the customer, understand who they are and where they are, and then write a message that's according to that particular customer, and that will actually tell you which messages will go into which media. The fourth thing to remember, and this is really a tip, is make sure that every Google product that you can get your hands onto, you use. So if you don't have a Google Plus account, go and register your business in Google Plus. And the reason that I say this is Google loves Google, and it gives credence to people who are using Google-owned products. YouTube, Google+, they're all Google products. So make sure you, at the very least, you've claimed that territory so that you can use it again. And for that matter, go and register all of the others as well. It's better to have your name registered in those particular social media outlets than to let someone else get them and you lose them forever. And the fifth and final thing to consider from a mobile point of view is make sure that you use camera and video options. For example, something like Instagram, fantastic for that. And it's a great way to draw people to your business using video and also using images. After all, you want to give them something that's going to help them link up emotionally with. So don't just shoot pictures of food and that sort of thing. Think about the ways, once again, that your customer is going to need to have their problem solved by your products, and use that from a video and image point of view. And consider that they'll be using it in a mobile way. This is where you should also consider using something like YouTube, where you can have demonstrations of products. After all, one of the most popular videos that exists in YouTube are unpacking videos. And that's basically where you're unpacking stock and talking about the product as you unpack it. They're hugely popular. In fact, most of them get the stuff right out of the box. Something for you to consider. If you own a motorcycle shop, for example, and you're pulling the new helmets out, pull them out, show them off, let people see them, talk about the advantages of that particular helmet. Very powerful stuff. And remember, most of people are using these mobile devices one-to-one. So don't talk one-to-many, talk you to the camera, to the person that you're talking to. Very, very important. If you're writing it, from your fingertips to their eyes and ears. These are things that you need to consider. Okay, that's enough. Until next time, I'm David Council from Inferno Marketing and Design. I love to talk to you about marketing. If you've got a question, please get in touch with me. I would love to help you with your business and answer any questions that you may have when it comes to advertising and marketing. Catch you next time.